All right, let's talk about something that happens all the time but is seriously misunderstood, and that's combining alcohol and marijuana. You've heard this before, right? Maybe you've even thought it. I mean, it seems to make sense. A little bit of one, a little bit of the other. How bad could it really be? Well, it turns out that whole line of thinking is not just wrong, it's dangerously wrong. And we're about to show you exactly why. The whole reason this is so risky comes down to one key idea: the multiplier effect. See, when you mix these two substances, their effects don't just add up. They actually amplify each other in a big way. This is really the heart of it. We think it's just simple addition. 1 plus 1 equals 2. But what's really happening is what scientists call a synergistic effect. It's more like 1 plus 1 equals 5. The combination creates a result that's way more powerful than the sum of its parts. So let's put some numbers on this. Imagine alcohol alone impairs you by, say, 20%, and marijuana impairs you by another 20%. You'd think, okay, that's 40% impairment. But no, the research shows the actual impairment can shoot up to 60%, sometimes even more. It's an exponential jump, not a simple step up. So where does this multiplier effect really become a problem? Behind the wheel. This is when it stops being a concept and starts being a life or death situation. 40%. Just let that number sink in. Controlled driving studies have shown that your reaction time can plummet by up to 40% when you combine alcohol and marijuana. That is a massive, massive drop. So, what does losing 40% of your reaction time actually feel like? Well, it's that critical half second you need to see a car pull out or a kid run into the street and slam on the brakes, and it's just gone. That tiny slice of time is everything in an emergency. And it's not just your reaction time that takes a hit. The studies are really clear on this. Drivers who've combined these two, they weave between lanes more, they can't maintain a steady speed, they just make way more mistakes. And all of that, of course, means the chance of a crash goes way, way up. But why? Why does this happen? What is going on inside your body to make this combination so incredibly potent? Let's dive into the science behind it. Well, it's because they're basically a tag team attacking your ability to drive. Alcohol comes in and messes with your judgment. It slows down your brain and makes you more likely to take stupid risks. Then marijuana comes in and messes with your physical coordination, your motor skills, your focus, your ability to track a moving object. Put them together, and you've got a full-blown assault on every single skill you need to drive a car safely. Now, here is the secret ingredient in this dangerous cocktail, the thing most people have no idea about. Alcohol literally changes how your body absorbs marijuana. When you drink, it can cause the concentration of THC in your blood to spike significantly. And this creates the most dangerous trap of all. The alcohol is making you way more high than you planned to be, but at the exact same time, both substances are wrecking your judgment. So you are far, far more impaired, but you are way less able to recognize it. It's a total paradox. Okay, so we've looked at the science. Let's talk about the real world. Let's look at the sobering reality of how this plays out on our roads every single day. This is just staggering. About a third, 1 out of every 3 people who mix alcohol and marijuana admit that they've gotten behind the wheel within 2 hours. This isn't some rare thing. It's a common behavior with absolutely devastating potential. And this gets to a really dangerous myth. People think, hey, I'm under the legal alcohol limit and I only had a little bit of weed, so I'm good to go. But the law wasn't written for the multiplier effect. You can be totally legal on paper for each substance individually, but still be completely and dangerously impaired when you put them together. So, when you look at all the evidence, from the lab tests, the crash data, the driver surveys, it all points to one very simple, very clear rule. It really is this straightforward. If you have used both alcohol and marijuana, you do not drive. Period. End of story. There's no gray area here. And please don't trust that little voice that says, but I feel fine. Remember that paradox? The first thing to go is your ability to judge how impaired you are. So feeling fine isn't a sign of safety, it's actually a symptom of the problem. So what's the practical advice here? It's all about planning ahead. Figure out your ride home before the night even begins. If there is even a small chance you might have to drive, just don't mix them. Wait several hours, or even better, overnight. And look, if you see a friend about to make this mistake, say something. Be that person. You could literally save their life or someone else's. In the end, it all comes down to this. The science isn't fuzzy. The risks aren't a maybe, they are real. Now that you know how it all works, the choice is yours to make.